Mommy wasn't lying. There was no hidden route in that virtual world.
Oh, there wasn't, huh?
Hey! You can't tell them such an important hint!
Oh, if you say that hint is important, then I guess it must be true.
Oh, shoot!
Uh-oh.
Ah, jeez. You're lucky you're cute.
Was Kokichi saying all that stuff about Mew to get the cups to reveal something? I guess I should thank him, but I have no idea why he does its things sometimes.
So now that we know there's no hidden route, why did she manipulate the program?
Tja, dann müsste der umgebracht
If there's
werden, ne?
actually nothing past the
Denke ich
wall,
mal.
then that setting was meaningless.
Mew wouldn't have done something meaningless. She would have had a plan.
Yes. Mew definitely wanted to be able to go through that wall for a reason. We aren't sure why yet, but once we solve the mystery of the virtual world...
Mystery of virtual world?
There have been a lot of strange occurrences in the virtual world. If we can determine why, we will also determine what Mew was up to. We'll know why she wanted to pass through the wall.
All right, let's clear up those strange occurrences. Yeah, Gonta will help, even though Gonta not know what you're talking about.
Speaking of strange occurrences, I'm just plain worried about that one thing. Remember? That thing that made us notice all the strange occurrences?
The events that led us there. Ja, wir haben da so einen Knall gehört, ne? Machen Sie das?
This is it! You mean the loud sound that you and I heard in the kitchen?
Ah! What? What was that sound? It sounded as if something was struck very hard. It came from outside, but...
You all heard that sound too?
Yes, in the mansion's kitchen.
But that sound occurred near the chapel. How did you hear it all the way at the mansion?
First off, sound can't go past the map loading point. Did that sound really come from the chapel?
That sound was something hitting the chapel wall. It was real loud.
And we definitely heard it. We heard Kibo's voice as well.
For now, let's go outside and check. Oh no! What? That was Kibo's voice, right? I think I heard him outside. He sounded close.
You heard my voice too?
What? That is pretty strange.
Exactly. That has to be some kind of clue to the mystery of the virtual world.
Okay, well, let's check the answers later and try to find all the other clues first. There was another mysterious phenomenon in the virtual world, wasn't there?
Ja.
Kokichi talked like he noticed something. Pretending not to know?
Even Gonta is suspicious of me?
Sus.
I always thought you would be the one to trust me!
Kokichi is sus.
Sorry, Gonta not mean it like that.
There's no need to apologize to him. He's probably just lying again.
What was the other strange occurrence? Did you see it, Shuichi?
Another mysterious phenomenon. Something that shouldn't be possible, like Miyu in the mansion or that loud noise. I need to remember everything else that happened in there. Okay. Oh. Mein Gott. Ich denke mal, dass es das genau das Brett gewesen sein kann, ne? Aber wir haben ja gesagt, das kann eigentlich gar nicht angekommen
The
sein auf
sign
der
that we
linken
were
Seite.
using as a bridge was odd to me.
Odd how?
We mentioned it before, but Mew dropped the sign in the river.
Whoops, my hand slipped.
We found it later, but there was something unnatural about it.
Finding the sign was definitely weird. I'm most confused by how the sign got there. I should remember exactly what happened with that sign. Alright, here we go. Oh, wir dürfen wieder fahren. Gas, gas, gas. Ba 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 bra, ba 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 bra. At which point was the signboard swept away? Wie war das nochmal? Am Fluss. Bam. Fuck. Hab ich von dem Auto ablenken lassen. Where's the end of the river? Wenn wir der Strömung folgen, wäre es Kapellenseite. Ich dachte schon, die springen jetzt vor mir weg. Wo haben wir es gefunden? Ja, bei der Kapelle, ne? Bei der Dings, bei der Wohnung, oder? Beim Anwesen. Oh, Hauer, einspurig. Ja. Ja, so ein bisschen, ne? Okay. Gegen oder mit der Flussrichtung? Gegen die Flussrichtung. Das macht Spaß. Ich gebe Gas, ich gebe Gas. Der kleine Pimp hat es
It
nicht
appeared as though
gesehen.
the sign was carried against the river's current. We all saw Mew drop the sign and watch the river carry it downstream. And the river was wide there. The sign should have traveled downriver toward the chapel, correct? It should have hit the wall on the far side of the chapel and stopped there. But that's not where we found it. We found it near the mansion, nestled in some rocks.
The signboard should have been near the chapel, but we found it on the other side.
Hold up. Didn't you stay on the
Ja,
chapel
ne?
side?
Ja, der ist ja nicht da, dann kann ich das
She
ja machen.
probably grabbed the signboard from the chapel wall to cross the river. Then left it on the boulders near the mansion so she could get back.
Why would she leave the signboard where it could get swept away and leave her stranded?
Also, this has nothing to do with walking through the wall, right? We're getting off topic. We're so close to the truth. We just have to connect the how and what. All the mysterious things that happened have to connect with each other somehow.
Connect how?
A wall only objects can pass through. Sounds that shouldn't be heard. A signboard going against the river current. How are they all connected?
I don't know, but Shuichi should know, right?
What?
We would be in a lot of trouble if you didn't. The only one who can solve this mystery and save us all is you.
So, how are they connected? Do you know, Shuichi?
Ah, well, what we know so far is that the unnatural way the sign was carried is possibly related to the wall. This is it! It might have to do with a wall that only objects can pass through. The sign should have stopped at the wall on the other side of the chapel. But if that wall happened to be the one that Mew said to allow objects through,
I see. It's a wall only non-humans can pass through. That means the signboard can pass through the wall, right?
Yep.
Even if it could pass through the chapel wall, how did it end up by the mansion?
The only way it could do that is if the wall was a warp zone. But it's not, right?
That's right. That's the real issue here. How could the signboard pass through the wall but end up on the mansion side? What would explain that?
Leave it to me, Shuichi. I, your partner, will give you hints in times of trouble.
What?
This is the virtual world. We should throw away all of our common sense, okay?
Huh? The hell does that even mean?
Kokichi might be onto something here there. We need to forget about what we know and just think about it. How did the signboard pass through the wall downstream and end up upstream? Putting common sense aside and focusing on the flow of the river. How did the signboard pass through? Ja, ich denke mal, dass die beiden miteinander verbunden sind, ne?
that's it! What if both ends of the river were connected?
Huh? Both ends of river connected?
Exactly. To put it another way, the river isn't cut off at the wall near the chapel. It's all part of one big loop. The upstream part of the river is connected to it.
What? What are you talking about? Both ends of the river can't...
Again, throw out all common sense from your head. We're talking about the virtual world.
Then what about the wall? There was only one wall that could be passed through.
Right. Even if the river's connected and it goes through the chapel wall, it wouldn't have been able to go through the mansion wall too.
Wer weiß. Wait, in that case?
I got it. I know why Mew only set up one wall.
What are you talking about now?
The reason she only set up one wall is because the chapel and the mansion walls, they are the same wall.
That's it. The walls by the chapel and the mansion aren't separate. They're the same wall.
The same wall?
It's not just the river. The walls themselves are connected.
Warum ist bei Mew eigentlich, sind da eigentlich 3 X? Warum hat der Pimp da wieder 3 X drauf
But a
gemacht?
single wall parallel to the y-axis. That single wall divides the entire virtual world. The idea is, you pass through the wall by the chapel and come out by the mansion.
Everything is starting to connect. See, didn't I tell you? Everything is connected.
Damn it, Kokichi! Just tell us!
It's okay. More importantly, this is the final stretch! If both the river and wall are connected, then you can find the secret. Shuichi, you already know the secret.
Räumen wir auch nicht über den Weg.
Right?
Yes, I suppose we should clear that up. Moment mal hin. So. We need to solve the mystery of the virtual world. Ach, das habe ich gar nicht vermisst. Okay. Dann weiß ich, glaube ich, was dahin muss. So, das haben wir schon mal. Jetzt gibt es nur noch ein P. Jetzt brauche ich einen Buchstabe noch für meine These. Ah, da unten. Die World Loops. Diese
Yes,
Schlupflöcher.
that's it. The virtual world is a loop.
Loop?
Just like in old games, right? Like, for example, when a character goes off the left side of the screen and reappears on the right.
Yes, exactly. The edges of the virtual world are linked together in a continuous loop.
The virtual world loops?
What in the world?
If that's true, it would explain the way the signboard was swept away. It vanished into the wall downstream of the river, came out of that same wall upstream, and floated with the current until it got caught on the rocks.
Aber das haben wir uns ja gestern
What
schon
was the
gedacht.
world like before Mew
Also
added
haben wir
the
da
wall?
recht gehabt.
Actually, there wasn't a wall on the y-axis at all, and the x-axis was set to loop.
Are you serious? Even if it is a computer program, isn't that too crazy?
A looping world. That's more extraordinary than even magic.
But at least it's not a boring answer. It also explains all the things that happened.
Huh? It doesn't explain everything, does it? Because we still don't know why we heard that one sound or Kibo's voice.
Yeah, sound doesn't go past the nap loading point.
Actually, if we know that the world is a loop, we can explain that as well.
Ja,
Huh? Really?
alles klar, Max.
Yes, but first we need to be clear of
Schlaf
where the
gut
loop
und bis
starts.
morgen dann.
Where the loop starts. Doesn't it loop at the walls next to the mansion and chapel?
Not necessarily. If we heard a noise at the chapel from inside the mansion, then the loop...
Where's the looping point? Ey, vielleicht sogar tatsächlich hier.
There!
Bei dem Ladescreen.
The map loading point was where the virtual world looped. We thought the loading point was in the middle of the map. But the loading point was actually at the edges.
So the wall Mew created wasn't at the edges of the world, but rather... her wall was at the center of the world.
I see. So the mansion and chapel were near each other, with a wall between them. And any sounds emitted near the chapel would also reach the mansion. The wall only allows non-humans to pass through, so sound should be able to pass through easily.
That's right. That's how the virtual world works.
Impressive, Shuichi! For you to get this far! Yes! Yes! You are useful indeed!
For you to get this far? What are you, some villain pulling the strings?
Nope. Mew pulled the strings here, not me. Remember? Mew also set this trap. It all began when Mew showed us the map. Because of the map, we mistakenly thought the loading point was at the center,
That's how the cookie crumbles.
which in turn made the mansion and chapel seem farther away from each other.
But the structure of the world wasn't actually like that. There was a wall along the y-axis, and the x-axis came around
Alles
in a
klar.
loop.
By putting that wall in the center of that world, she cut off the loop.
So ever since Mew showed us that map, we were caught in her trap.
We're caught in a trap.
But we solved
I
this
can't
mystery
walk
thanks
out.
to Shuichi. All hail our savior!
Yeah, if Shuichi wasn't here, then we never would have solved this mystery.
That's right. Good work, Shuichi.
Thanks, Shuichi. You saved us.
You're welcome.
Just because we found out the virtual world's secret doesn't mean we can take it easy yet. Actually, this culprit hunt just got to the exciting part. Even if we know all the tricks, it's pretty meaningless if we don't find the culprit. That's That's how a class trial works, after all.
Kokichi talking like Monokuma again.
No matter what you say, I'm not gonna believe your lies. I'm gonna believe in everyone. That's how I'm gonna reach the truth.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Ja. Irgendwas fehlt da. What is Kokichi's plan here? He's definitely prodding at Kaito on purpose. Well, there's no time for distractions like him. What we have to do is find the culprit who killed Miyu. It doesn't matter how many little mysteries we solve, if we can't find the culprit. It would be all for nothing. But I still don't know for sure who it could be. Who used Miyu's own plan against her to kill her? Who killed Miyu? Halbzeit. Ja, das war doch schon mal wieder ganz interessant. Aber man hat gesehen, die Gedanken, die wir uns gestern schon gemacht haben bei den Ermittlungen, haben wir auf jeden Fall schon mal richtig angesetzt. Das ist doch schon mal positiv. Ja, man kann auch scheitern und dann ist man Game Over. Das hatte Lady Buggy schon ein paar Mal beim ersten Teil. Also man kann durchaus Game Over gehen, wenn man alles daneben setzt. Man hat ja diese Herzen oben. Aber man startet dann, glaube ich, von da, wo man gestorben ist, glaube ich, startet man wieder. Man, I'm bushed. I got no motivation at all. And Monophanie's period is late too. Father, why do you know Monophanie's cycle? Never mind that. Perhaps this lack of motivation is due to a lack of hibernation.
Yeah?
Lack of hibernation? Yeah, I haven't been sleeping well lately, so I haven't really been able to hibernate. That's awful. What could be causing it?
Ah!
Is it because you have a lot on your mind? Hmm? Is it because the graveyard shift pays you a better hourly wage? Hmm?
Really?
Is it because you don't want them to think you're just goofing around? Hmm? Is it because you want to stay friends? Hmm? Is it because you want to watch it in real time? Father? He's gone into hibernation. We should let him be.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. Night-night. Class trial resumed.
My head!
2.
Monotaro! Pull yourself together!
I feel like I'm forgetting someone important to me, but I just can't. My head! My head hurts so much, I just can't remember.
If you've forgotten, maybe that's for the best. From this point forward, let's start a new life for ourselves. After all, our baby is excited to meet his daddy, you know?
Daddy? Wait, what? I'm gonna be a father?
What a colossal death flag. I'll be surprised if he doesn't die after that.
More importantly, let's continue the conversation where we left off.
We understand you plotted the murder, but we need to find out who killed her.
And in order to figure that out, we need to understand Miyu's actions. So let's discuss her murder scheme step by step.
I know that's important, but hearing you lead the conversation really pisses me off.
Let's see. Miyu manipulated the virtual world to use it as part of her murder plan.
Don't just ignore me and start anyway.
If she had succeeded, she would have gone past the wall between the chapel and mansion. And then wham! Murdered me on the roof with the hammer.
Hammer.
she would make the murder seem like it happened in the real world, and then pin it on Kaito.
As for Miu's alibi in the real world, she could say she was locked into the virtual world. And in the virtual world, she could say she was near the chapel the entire time.
She'd make an excuse about how she couldn't reach the mansion because of the fallen bridge.
Whoops, my hand slipped.
She dropped the bridge on purpose so she could separate the chapel from the mansion. Then secretly passed through the wall she installed and took advantage of the loop. After, she headed to where we were supposed to meet up, the mansion's rooftop. Oh yeah, Kaito was probably logged out around that time too.
That's when I saw Miu.
Problem is, because of her murder plans, we don't even know where she was killed.
She was killed on the roof, right? Kokichi told us the roof door was locked and that he couldn't get through.
Maybe that when culprit kill her.
That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
Did the culprit lock the door to the roof?
Perhaps. I don't think Miu did it. If Miu did lock it, she would have done it when she called Kokichi to the roof. Even if someone came up, I don't believe she would change the target of her plan. She knew that Kokichi would come up later. Locking the door would be suspicious.
Well, it's possible she didn't even think that far ahead.
She was smart, but she was also really, really dumb.
No say such mean things. Killing game bad, not Miu. Miu not bad person. Going to think we could have been friends if things different.
That might have been difficult, even without this killing game.
Yep.
That wouldn't happen.
Nuh-uh. No way, Jose.
Huh?
Anyway, let's continue the discussion. If Miu was killed on the roof of the mansion, the culprit must have moved Miu's avatar to the chapel after killing her, right?
So the next thing we should talk about is how they moved her avatar.
Now we know the mansion and chapel were actually next to each other. But the problem is the wall between them.
Only Miu was able to go through that wall. The culprit wouldn't have been able to.
Then you're saying the culprit sent Miu's avatar through that wall?
Yeah, that's the only way, right?
But how did the culprit send Miu's avatar through the wall? I mean, it's not like they could have thrown her.
Going to not throw her!
Vielleicht.
We know. You couldn't because the avatar's physical strength was equalized.
Physical strength equalized? That problem. Going to know can protect everyone if that happens.
Jeez, keep up with us. We're already in the second half of the class trial.
Wir sind schon in
How
der
did
zweiten
they send
Hälfte.
Miu's avatar to the other side of the wall? Maybe that thing has something to do with it. You know, the loud sound you heard?
Ah! What? What was that sound?
Because of that sound, you guys went to the side of the chapel. Right, Keyboy? That's when you found the dead Miu there, right? If so, then I think that sound and her avatar being by the chapel are related.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that the noise is related to this case. We need to figure out what that sound could have been. It might be the clue we need to solve this case. Miu hat rausgelöst. So what was it? It sounded like something slamming hard into something else. Miu hat die So what were those two things? It could be Miu hitting the wall. Ja, die Sache ist die, Miu hat rausgenommen, dass man die Schritte sehen kann. Im Schnee. Weil dadurch könnte man zu schnell auf den Täter kommen. Beziehungsweise, das hat auch Monokuma nicht reingelassen in sein System.
Ruling those out, the only other explanation is that the sound was Miu colliding with a wall.
If that's the case, Miu's avatar must have hit the chapel wall really hard. We felt the impact all the way from the inside of the chapel.
Yeah, that's the real question. Miu's avatar probably hit the chapel's wall with pretty considerable force.
Genau.
But why did it hit the wall with such force? Can you guys figure it out?
Und die wurden rausgenommen, dass man immer keine Fingerabdrücke sieht.
What's up with the way you're talking? Why are you talking like you know everything?
Let's not worry about that right now. More importantly, we gotta solve the mystery. Fighting among friends is a waste of time.
Friends? Us?
Anyway, can we talk about that after we figure this problem out?
A way of transporting Miu's avatar that would cause it to crash into the chapel.
Getting Miu's avatar to crash into the chapel from the mansion's roof. There's only one way I can think of how to do that.
Hey Shuichi, as your partner, I'll give you a little hint.
Your what?
Since the mansion was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right? Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope.
Ja.
And the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof. If the culprit needed force to move the body, I wonder how they did it.
Kokichi's talking as if he's got the whole thing figured out already. But I can't let him distract me. I need to solve the case. How to make Miu hit the chapel wall from the roof of the mansion. I'm going to find the answer. Okay, 3 Wörter. Ich weiß nicht. Okay. Ja. Das passte schon mal. Den nehmen wir erstmal mit hier. Da gab es ein Monokuma. So wie er es dargestellt hat, müsste ja runtergerutscht sein. Vom Dach.
The culprit used the sloped roof as a slide for Miu's avatar.
Slide? Aw, man. Even with the slope and the snow, Miu's body wouldn't have slid.
Wrong. It would slide.
But the avatars can generate friction. We wouldn't have been able to walk otherwise. So I doubt that it would have had that much momentum.
No. It would slide.
It wouldn't slide, just like Maki Roll said.
It would slide, just like Shumai said.
Who the hell is Shumai?
Oh, he's a pupil of Ramen Man. Sorry, My hobby slipped in.
Ramen Man. I'm positive that that's how Miu's avatar was moved, but maybe the culprit used something else as well to help her body slide. Oh oh, jetzt langsam öffnet sich's vor mir.
Even if her avatar slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Well, duh, it would.
If it made that much noise, it must have built up a lot of speed.
Lots of snow piled up on roof. But not frozen solid, right?
We'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
That's not the issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do.
Es
You
eröffnet
just
sich
need a
mir
sled
die
or skis
Sicht,
to
wie
cut
das
the friction.
passiert ist.
There was nothing like that around, though.
Doch war es. If you wanted to move a body by sliding it, how would you do it? There was something left at the crime scene that would help. Ja, das haben wir schon
Even if her
gesehen.
avatar slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Die Matte.
Well, duh, it would.
If it made that much noise, it must have built up a lot of speed.
Lots of snow piled up on roof. But not frozen solid, right?
We'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
That's not the issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do. You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
Einfach da so in den Kopf
There was
reinschießen.
nothing. That's wrong.
No, wait. There was something that could have been used to help slide Miu's body. Do you remember the lattice that was found by Miu's avatar? The culprit laid her on top of that, then used it as a sled on the roof.
Das war das, was Lord Weißbrot gerade schon sagte.
I did notice the lattice in the storage room when I first looked. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
Aber Lattice heißt doch eigentlich
The lattice
Lattenrost,
that was
oder?
found next to the chapel is the one that
Oder was
disappeared
heißt
from
das
the roof.
übersetzt? Nicht, dass ich die ganze Zeit die falsche Übersetzung genommen
Then
habe.
that's it. The culprit used the lattice as a sled.
Ding, ding, ding! That's correct!
Lattice, ich weiß nicht die Übersetzung genau. Ich habe Matte immer gesagt. Aber ich meine, es ist ein Lattenrost oder sowas.
After the culprit
Oder ein
killed
Brett.
Miu on the rooftop, they placed her corpse on a sled and slid her down the roof's steep slope.
The sled picked up speed, flew off the roof, glided through the wall only objects could pass through, and hit the chapel.
Genau. Das nennt man ja Lattenrost. Ja, ein Gitter, ja.
The impact made all of her belongings scatter, including the hammer and cell phone.
Just like that hedgehog who loses all his rings whenever he crashes into stuff.
Ey, Sonic.
I hate that guy and his worldwide fame and his stupid games, and I hate that hedgehog!
Daddy, I'm glad you're feeling motivated again, but you shouldn't be so hateful. You gotta be an example to our new family.
Yeah, Father. Or should I start calling you Grandfather now?
Oh.
Now that we know how the body slid down, we're just one step away from the culprit. Well, Shuichi, do you know who the culprit is?
The culprit.
Yeah. In the end, we'll still need to guess the culprit, huh?
But Gonta can't believe one of us killed Miu.
However, since we know she was killed on the roof, we can narrow down the list of suspects. Meaning, the culprit must be someone who was investigating the mansion.
Richtig.
Aside from you, the people at the chapel could not go through the wall or cross the river.
So that means the suspects are Kaito, Samugi, Shuichi, and Gonta.
Hat sich vergessen.
That's real sneaky, leaving yourself off the list.
Ooh, you got me.
That's right, 5 suspects. Meet Tsumugi, Gonta, Kokichi, and Kaito. We don't know enough to name the culprit yet, but one of them is suspicious. When we were talking about the rooftop, they clearly lied. But what reason would they have to lie? I'll need to press them for information before making any judgments. Kollege, jetzt mal raus mit der Sprache.
Kokichi, there's something I need to know.
What do you need to know?
Why did you lie just now?
Which lie are you talking about, Shuichi? I lie a lot, so you'll need to jog my memory.
Fine. I'll expose your lie right now.
Also, I never went to the roof, not even for the meeting. It all began when Miu showed us the map. That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
It was that testimony that bothered me.
Oh, neue Farben. Running in the 90s. Also, I never went to the roof, not even in the meeting. Ich glaube, das ist falsch. Oh.
I see it.
When you were explaining that the door to the roof was locked, you said...
Also, I never went to the roof, not even for the meeting. Warum konnte er es alles so gut
But
darstellen?
later, you said...
Since the mansion was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right? Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope, and the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof. Woher weiß er, dass da Schnee lag?
That's a lot of specific information. Stuff you wouldn't know if you hadn't been there.
Oh yeah! Now that you mention it, how did you know all that stuff?
You could probably see the steep slope of the roof from outside the mansion. But you wouldn't know about the brick handrail unless you went up to the roof yourself.
Huh? What?
What's this all about, Kokichi? Did you actually go to the rooftop?
I didn't. I already told you that before.
Why you look so nervous?
Is this a sincere reaction?
But there's no evidence that proves I went to the roof. Wait, I remember now. That thing Himiko said.
Me?
At the start of the class trial, I remember you saying the handrail was made of bricks. Ooh, you so clumsy, girl. Gotta be more careful there, Himiko.
Ja, erklär mal da die Hilfe. Was kann ich tun? Meinst du wegen Among Us jetzt oder was meinst du? Ja, hatte sie. Bin ja mal gespannt, wie sie das löst. Wir erpressen ihn ja jetzt nur ein bisschen.
Is it my fault?
Himiko really say that?
She totally said that.
No, she didn't.
Was ist mit Gonta los?
Yes, she did.
She did not.
She did too.
Then when? Tell me how long ago. In hours, minutes, and seconds.
What a worthless fight!
Oh, das ist doch eher Monokuma.
Grandpa! All this terrible fighting is bad for the baby!
Yeah, grandfather. Stop them before your grandkid is born.
Grandkid Monodam Jr.
I'm
oder
not gonna
was?
apologize, because Himiko said it.
So damn stubborn.
How much longer are you going to behave like this?
We don't have time for this. But Kokichi is stubborn. He won't fess up no matter what. But if he's being this stubborn, it makes me think he has something to hide. To get him to show his hand, I have to prove he was on the roof. I might not like it, but I have to be aggressive. Ah ja, if we don't get the whole truth now, everyone's lives are in danger. Ich glaube, wir müssen lügen, wenn er das schon so sagt, weil er das nicht mag.
I didn't go to the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
I'm not lying. The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
Das hätte er mit seinem Lockpicking aufmachen können.
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
Liars burn in hell, you know.
If you're lying, I'll set your pants on fire!
Sehr gut.
That's fine, because I'm not lying.
Then why do you look so nervous?
Kokichi's lying for sure, but if he keeps throwing lies at me, I have to fight fire with fire. Jetzt wissen wir, dass wir definitiv lügen müssen.
I didn't go to the roof.
Ich glaube, wir müssen ihn mal ein bisschen anlügen wegen seiner Salongeschichte.
I'm not lying.
Ja, sie wollte nicht mehr raus. Genau, die Magierin wollte nicht mehr raus.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon
the whole time, you know.
Liars burn in hell.
Warum hat das jetzt nicht gezählt?
If you're lying, I'll set your pants on fire!
That's fine, because I'm not lying.
Then why do you look so nervous?
I didn't go to the roof.
Nochmal.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
I'm not lying. The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in
The salon the whole time, you know.
Ey,
Liars burn in
was soll
hell,
der
you know.
Quatsch?
If you're lying, I'll set your pants on fire!
That's fine, because I'm not lying.
Hitbox des
Then why do
Spiels,
you
ich
look
sag's
so
euch.
nervous?
I
Nochmal.
didn't go to the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
I'm not lying. The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon,
The whole time.
you know?
Jetzt wegen dem scheiß Störwort, oder was?
Oh no.
I made a mistake, ja, ja.
I didn't go to the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
Mando.
I'm not lying. The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
Mann.
Liars burn in hell, you know.
If you're lying, I'll set your pants on fire!
That's fine, because
Das ist definitiv bei der
I
Aussage.
didn't go to the roof.
Ach, Moment.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
Ich glaube, ich weiß, was ich falsch mache. Ich habe doch gesagt, ich will lügen, ne?
The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
Da muss ich auch Lügen drücken.
Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed
In the salon the whole
time, you know?
So.
I'll reveal the truth.
Ich habe gesagt, ich wollte lügen. Wie gesagt, die ganze versucht, die ganze Wahrheit zu sagen.
Kokichi, you're lying right now, aren't you?
Huh? Lying about what?
Just before the murder occurred, I went to the salon to check on you. But you weren't there.
What? Really?
I waited there for a while. You never showed up.
What's this all about, Kokichi? Didn't you go right back to the salon after finding the roof door locked?
I see. You use underhanded tactics too, huh, Shuichi? So who are you guys gonna believe? Shuichi or me?
Well, of course I'm gonna believe Shuichi.
I believe Shuichi 100%.
The one who's not Kokichi.
100 house points. No, Himiko points to Shuichi.
But to go to the salon, Shuichi would need to pass by me in the dining room. I wonder why I didn't notice Shuichi there. Oh well, I'll believe Shuichi anyway. He's usually right about stuff.
Sorry, but going to believe Shuichi too.
I see. I wanted at least Gonta to believe me.
What comes around goes around. That's what happens to liars like you.
Why do you guys hate lies that much? There's only one truth.
Wer einmal lügt, dem glaubt
but
man nichts,
endless
selbst wenn er mal die
possibilities
Wahrheit
for
spricht.
lies, you know? And some of them are only white lies, or lies to be kind to people. If you deny all of that just because it's a lie, then that means you guys are just terrible at being lied to. Seriously, the worst!
Just spit it out already. You went to the roof, didn't you?
Isn't that where he met up with Miu?
No, he didn't just meet her there. He probably...
Okay, fine. I'll tell you if you want to know that badly. Consider this my revenge.
Revenge?
You got some balls lying to me. I'm gonna take away your fun for pissing me off, Shuichi. I won't let you do any detective work, or deduction, or mystery solving, or anything.
Oh?
So, I'll confess everything. You guys better listen carefully.
Confess.
A confession? So you are the culprit after all.
I came up with a plan after Miu asked me to meet up with her. She asked me pretty eagerly, too, so I decided to pry some info out of her. She gave me the rundown of the virtual world
Warum
before
steht
she
da jetzt
explained it to you
Confessing drüber?
guys. As I listened, I realized she was planning a murder. On me, no less. When I investigated the virtual world, I found out that a person can die from shock. Without a doubt, she planned to use that for my murder. So that's when I decided to prepare my own crime with her plan. I pretended to cooperate with her and lured everyone into the virtual world. That's also why I worked together with Monokuma.
Das stimmt, das hat er ja gesagt.
You work together with
Beziehungsweise das
Monokuma?
haben wir gesehen, dass er das macht.
I guess the jig is up. Yeah, everything he said is true. Kokichi came to me with an idea to make the killing game more interesting. It was such a good idea, I decided to place a motive in the killing game simulator.
You added a motive? Then the secret of the outside world is the motive, right?
No fair! Monokuma can't take sides!